Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this tutorial series, we are designing this responsive portfolio website from scratch using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now in the previous video, we wrote the HTML of this design, and from this video, we will start writing the CSS. So let's start by writing the CSS for this navbar and this hero section. So let's get started. Alright, this is how our website looks right now. We don't have any CSS added. So let's go to our source code, and this is our HTML file. We can see that we have linked our CSS file over here. So let's go to our style.css file, and we have already added these color variables in our previous videos. Alright, let's start by removing all the default margins in the body. So let's type body, and I'll just type margin 0. And now we can see we don't have any default margin in our browser. Alright, now let's go back and let's set the box sizing to border box. So I'll just select all the elements and also the after and before selectors. So I'll just tap after and also asterisk colon colon before. And let's set the box sizing to border box. Now this line of code will make sure that we have the correct height and width for our elements. And now if you go back to our website, and if I click on this My Projects link, we can see that we are taken to the My Projects section, but it is instant. We want to have a smooth transition. So for that, let's go back to our CSS, and we will add a scroll behavior to the HTML. So let's type HTML and let's type scroll behavior and set it to smooth. Now let's go back and let's click on My Projects, and we are smoothly taken to this section right here. Right now, the next thing we will do is we will set the max width for the wrapper division. So if you go to our original design, we can see that we have this max width for all the elements. So let's go back, and if you go back to our HTML file, we can see that we have this division with the class of wrapper. So let's style that. So here I'll just type wrapper, and we'll set a max width of 1100 pixels. And we'll also set a padding of 0 for top and bottom and 50 pixels for left and right. And we'll also bring it to the center. So I'll just type margin 0 for top and bottom and auto for left and right. Now we can see we have a max width for all the content. Let's add a background color and you'll be able to see it correctly. So here we can see this is the max width of our wrapper division. So we have the max width for all the sections. Let's go back and let's remove this background color. Right now, the next thing we will do is style this navbar. So if you go back to our HTML file, we can see that for the navbar we have this nav element with a class of main nav. So let's style that. I'll just create a comment. I'll just type navbar. So here I'll just type nav with the class of main nav. First of all, let's set the position to fixed so that it is in the same position even if we scroll down. And we'll set the top position to 0. We'll set the left position to 0 and also the right position to 0. And we'll also set the z index to a higher value so that it is always on the top. And let's add a background color and let's see whether it is being applied. So here we can see we have this navbar displayed over here. Right now, let's remove this background color and we'll just change it to white. And we'll also add a box shadow. And we'll set the values to 0, 4 pixels, 40 pixels, RGBA, 0, 0, 0 and 0.2. Right now, the next thing we need to do is we need to position all these elements one next to the other. So if we go back to our HTML file, here we can see inside the main nav we have this wrapper. And in the wrapper, we have the menu icon, the logo, and this button. So for the wrapper division inside the main nav, we have to set the display to flex. So here I'll just type nav.mainNav wrapper. And let's set the display to flex, and we'll also align items to the center. And now we can see we have all these elements one next to the other. Now we will position them one to the left, one to the center, and one to the right. So for that, we have to type justify content space between. Now we can see we have the correct positioning for all these elements. Now we'll also add some padding for this main nav. So let's go back to our CSS, and here for the main nav, let's add a padding, and we'll set a padding of 16 pixels top and bottom and 0 for left and right. Now the next thing we will do is style this logo. So let's go back, and for the logo we have a division with the class of logo. So here I'll just type nav.mainNav logo, and we'll set the font size to 20 pixels. and the font weight to 800, and we'll also set the color of the font to the primary color which we had stored over here. So we can simply use this variable. So here I'll just type var primary color, and we also need to set the font family. So what we will do is for the body we will add a font family of Railway and sans serif. Alright, that's it with the logo. Now the next thing we will do is style this button. So let's go back to our CSS, and for the button we have a class of btn. So let's style this. So here I'll just type btn, and we will first of all remove this underline. So for that we'll just type text decoration and set it to none, and we'll set the font size of the button to 16 pixels, and we'll set the font weight to 800, and we'll also add a padding of 10 pixels top and bottom and 32 pixels left and right, and we'll also set the display to inline block so that we have the correct margin and padding added to the button. Right now we have two types of buttons over here. We have a light button and a dark button. So for each of the buttons we have different styles. So we will type .btn.dark for the dark button, and for the dark button we need to have a dark background color. So let's type background, and we'll set it to a variable that we created called dark color, and for the color of the text we'll set it to white. And for the light button, let's type .btn.light. We will set the background color to a light color, and we'll set the color of the text to black. And here we can see we have the button displayed over here, and the styles are added for these buttons also because we have the same classes over here. Now one more thing we need to do over here is that when we hover over this menu icon, we need to change the cursor to a pointer. So let's go back, and for the menu icon we have a division with the class of menu icon. So let's target that. Here I'll just type nav main menu icon, and let's set the cursor to pointer. And now if you hover over this we have the pointer. Right now the next thing we will do is style this hero section. So let's go back to our HTML, and for the hero section we have this header. So first of all let's style this header. So here I'll just create a comment, and here we'll just type hero section. Alright, the first thing we will do is we will set the height of the header to 100 viewport height. So this is the header. So let's target that. I'll just type header, and let's set the height to 100 viewport height, and we'll set the background color to the gray color. So we have already created the variable, so I'll just select this, and we'll also set the overflow to hidden so that anything outside this header will not be displayed. So even if our image extends the height of this header, it will be cropped. Right now let's go back to our browser, and here we can see we have the background color set, and we also have 100 viewport height for the header. Right now the next thing we need to do is we need to position the left and the right divisions one next to the other. So right now it is one below the other. So let's go back to our browser, and if you go to the index.html file, here we can see inside the header we have this wrapper division, and in that we have the left division, and below that we have the right division. So we have to set the display of the wrapper division to flex so that both these elements will be one next to the other. So let's target the wrapper inside the header. So here I'll just type header wrapper, and let's set the display to flex, and we'll also align items to the center, and we'll set the height to 100% of the parent, which is the header. Right now let's go back to our browser, and here we can see we have the left division on the left side, and then we have the right division on the right side. Now we need to set the same width to both these divisions. So let's go back, and here we can see we have the left division and also the right division. So let's target both of those. Here I'll just type header left, and we need to set the flex to 1, and even for the header right we need to set the flex to 1. Now both these divisions will have the same width. Now let's style this heading. So let's go back to our HTML, and here we can see for the heading we have this h1. So let's target that. Here I'll just type header h1, and let's set the font size to 60 pixels, and we'll set the color of the text to white, and we'll also remove all the margins. Right now let's style this paragraph. So here we can see we have this paragraph. So let's type header p, and let's set the color to white, and we'll set the font family to Inter, and we'll set the font size to 18 pixels, and let's set the margin to 8 pixels top and bottom and 0 for left and right. And we'll also add some margin bottom. So let's tap margin bottom and let's set it to 24 pixels, and we'll also set a line height, and we'll set the line height to 180%. Now let's add some space between these two buttons. So let's target the buttons. Here I'll just tap header BTN, and let's set a margin right of 20 pixels. Alright, that's it with the left division. Now let's style the right division. Now we need to position this image and also this background shape relative to the right division. So for that, let's go to the right division, and we will set the position to relative. And now let's target the images. So here we can see we have this image with the class of hero image. So let's target that. Here I'll just tap header right hero image, and let's set the position to absolute, and we'll set the bottom position to 0, and we'll also set the height of the image to 90%. Alright, now let's target this hero BG. So let's tap header right hero BG, and let's set the position to absolute, and we'll set the top position to, let's try 20%. And now we can see that the hero image is not being displayed. So let's check what is the problem. I'll just right click over here and click on inspect, and let's go inside the wrapper and inside the right division, and let's select this hero image, and we can see we have set a height for the hero image. And let's select the right division, and for the right division we don't have any height set. So let's add a height and let's see whether it fixes the problem. And now we can see when we add the height, we have the image displayed over here. So let's add the height. Let's go back and let's go to the right division, and let's set the height to 100%, and we'll set the align self to the bottom. So let's tap flex end, because here we can see for the wrapper we have set align items to the center. Now for the right division specifically, we need to set the alignment to the bottom. And now we can see we have the image displayed over here. We have set the height of the image to 90%, but we can see that the height is a lot more than 90%. But the problem is that we have this nav bar over here, and we need to subtract the height of the nav bar from the right division. So for that, let's use a calc function. So here for the right division, let's set the height to calc 100% minus the height of the nav bar. So let's see what is the height of the nav bar. Let's right click over here and click on inspect, and let's select the main nav, and we can see that the height is 70.5 pixels. So let's add that over here. I'll just round it to 70 pixels. Right, now let's save this, and now we can see we have the correct height for the images. Alright, so that's it for this video. In the next video we will add these dots, and I will also add this down arrow over here, and also add the functionality for this menu button. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.